SBA review lesson number 4 is on number lines. For our first example, represent the expression on the number line. We have 0.25 plus negative 1.5. If we look at our number line, it's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. I would recommend making everything into fourths. That might be a little easier to count hop. So thinking about 0.25, how many quarters are in a dollar, or how many fourths would that be? You said 1/4, you're correct. Plus negative 1 1/2. So first we're going to start at 0, put our dot right above 0, and we're just going to go a little ways. We're just going to the right by 1/4. Now I'm going to put a dot right above that. And this time I need to go back negative 1 1/2. Well, these are again counting by fours. So I need to think about how many fourths are in one whole. And that would be 4. So to make a whole dollar, I'd have 4 quarters. So I'm going to go back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then how many fourths are in a half? And to get to 50 cents, I would need 2 more quarters. 1, 2. If it helps you, you can make common denominators. I'm going to show you that on the number line below here. So here we are at negative 1 1/4. For number 2, represent the expression on the number line. So this time we have like terms and whole numbers, but we need to see what are the intervals on our number line. So here we have 0, we have a 4n. We need to think about what is right in between 0 and 4n. So what number would be in the middle? You said 2n, you are correct. So I'm going to be counting by 2's on this number line. 2n, 4n, 6n, 8n. And to the left of 0 would be the negative, or the inverse of that. Negative 2n, negative 4n, negative 6n, negative 8n. This is going to make it easier for us now to represent this on the number line. So here we have, starting at 0, we're going to go to 6n, and I put a dot. Now I need to make sure that negative belongs to the 8, so I'm going to go to the left 8, but counting by 2's. 2, 4, 6, 8. So now I'm back at negative 2n. Put a dot right above that, and I'm going in the positive direction 2n, and look, I end up at 0. For our last example, we have 3 different fractions that we're going to represent on this number line. I'm going to show you 2 different methods on how to solve these. For the first one, I'm going to start at 0, and it says negative 1 1/2. So that part's not so bad. We look for negative 1 1/2. The part I have to reason through, though, is going back 2 more whole numbers. Well, this is divided in halves. So I have to think about how many halves are in one whole. If you said there's 2 halves in one whole, that's correct. There are 2 halves in one whole. So I'm really counting by 2's. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's going to bring me back 2 wholes. And I end up at negative 3 1/2. If that was a little confusing for you, we could try another method. So we're going to take a look at making common denominators. So making sure everything is in terms of halves. To do that, I would need to make this first one an improper. So 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 more would be 3. Making sure that negative belongs to the numerator. Now, to make that 2 have a denominator of 2, I would need to multiply the top and bottom by 2. So I get 4 over 2. And if you think about it, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Does that make sense? Now I can actually just count my numerators, meaning I'm going to start here at 0. I'm going to go back 3 hops. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to pick up where I left off, and this time I need to go to the right 4 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm at positive 1/2. For the last example, so I can get you to practice, we're going to go pretty fast. So here I'm starting at 0, positive direction, 2.5. Pick up where I left off, negative direction 4, but this time I'm going to count by 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I end up at negative 1 1/2. And that concludes lesson number 4.